So one of the first things that I want to talk about when it comes to talking about the NBA playoffs is some of the teams. And one of the teams I want to take a closer look at is the Dallas Mavericks and their recent struggles. Recently, they've lost 7 out of their last 8 games. They're playing very poor defense, and Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving are not meshing well together like some people thought they would after they made the huge trade at the NBA trade deadline. And some talks are even saying that they might shut down these two star athletes so they can keep their 2023 draft pick and it not go to the New York Knicks because it is top 10 protected. Now let's talk about the New York Knicks. They recently suffered a big loss when losing one of their key players, Julius Randle, to an ankle injury, which will at least sideline him to the end of the regular season and potentially into the playoffs, which is bad news because they need him if they want to make a deep run in the playoffs. They can't rely on just Jalen Brunson and Emmanuel Quickly to be dropping 30, 35 points each. Now to move on to some key matchups that we have that are seeming to maybe line up, maybe not, though. We only have 1 week left in the NBA season. The first one I want to talk about is the Phoenix Suns versus the Los Angeles Clippers. This matchup to me on paper looks like a phenomenal matchup. The Suns, they got Devin Booker and Kevin Durant, and then the Clippers, they have Paul George and Kawhi Leonard, which those two matchups, those type of players going head-to-head is only going to make for must-watch television. The next series is going to be the Kings versus the Warriors. The Kings in the offseason hired one of the Warriors' assistant coaches, Mike Brown, and have not made the playoffs actually since 2006. They're a very young team. Some of their star players would be De'Aaron Fox, and Kevin Huerter is also very good on that team, against guys like Klay Thompson, Steph Curry, and Draymond Green, who obviously have been on the Warriors for very long and winning those 4 rings. Now let's look at the Eastern Conference, where we have the New York Knicks versus Cavs. This matchup's going to have a lot of offense from your guards because you have Darius Garland and Donovan Mitchell on the Cavs side, and earlier mentioned Jalen Brunson and Emmanuel Quickly on the New York Knicks side. I think this series personally could go 6-7 games if Randall could get healthy. And the last matchup I want to take a closer look at is the Boston Celtics versus potentially one of these two teams. It would be a play-in matchup to determine who would play the Celtics between the Heat or the Hawks. Both of these teams up to this point in the season, the Heat and the Hawks, have underperformed in my opinion. They have very good players. Heat good star players would be Tyler Hero, Jimmy Butler, Bam Adebayo, and for the Hawks, you're looking at Trae Young and DeJounte Murray. Now let's move on to the hotter team in the West, which is the Los Angeles Lakers, who have won 6 out of the last 7 games, and they're getting healthy at the right time with Anthony Davis, LeBron, both being healthy. The Lakers will be a very tough team to stop if they can stay healthy and make a deep playoff run. Now to look at probably the top 3 teams in the Eastern Conference, which would be the Boston Celtics, Philadelphia 76ers, who are my favorite team. Let's go Sixers, and the Milwaukee Bucks. One of the problems, though, that will face the Sixers are they are not very deep when it comes. After you get to that starting 5, you probably have 2 legitimate options off the bench in DeAnthony Melton and Georges Niang. The Milwaukee Bucks, though, they can put out 10 guys any night against you, and they have won the championship when they beat the Phoenix Suns in 6 games in 2021. And the last team is the Boston Celtics, team that actually lost to the Golden State Warriors last year in the NBA Finals, lost their coach in the offseason. They're looking to get back. And personally, when I look at these 3 teams, I have the Boston Celtics winning the Eastern Conference again, going to the NBA Finals. And now let's talk some March Madness with Ryan.